So I'm going to do 3 examples of solving linear equations. So they each have a little extra something that we can practice. So the first one, 6x minus 3 plus 2x equals 10 plus 18x minus 4. So you'll notice on the left side I have 2 x terms. I need to combine those first before I start moving things around. Okay, need might be strong. It's usually, it feels better if you do that. And you'll notice that on the right, maybe if you looked ahead, the 10 and the minus 4, I can add those together. So I'm not doing any like opposite because I'm not moving things from side to side yet. I'm just tidying up each individual side. So in that case, we just do the operations that are given. So I have a 6x plus a 2x. Combining like terms gets me 8x. Minus 3 I haven't dealt with, so it just tags along. On the right, the 10 and the minus 4, those two can combine. They're like. They're both constants. 10 minus 4 is 6 plus 18x. Okay, now I want to gather all of my x terms together on one side. So now I'm going to start doing the opposite operations. So you have to pick which side you're going to put your x's on. And you might have something that just feels better to you. For me, it feels better to have my x coefficients positive. So I will almost always move to make that happen. Since 18 is bigger and it's positive, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8x from both sides. So remember, we have to do the same thing to both sides so the equation stays balanced. And here, right, I'm moving the 8x from side to side. So minus 3 equals 6. 18x minus 8x is plus 10x. I only have one x term. That's great. So now I need to get all of my numbers together. So first I move the 6. It's positive here, so to get rid of it, I subtract 6. Right, what's really going on there is we're doing the additive inverse. So the 6 and minus 6 is 0. Additive identity, which means it doesn't change the right side. So 10x. And then on the left, I have minus 3 minus 6 more. That'll be minus 9. So as soon as we get to here, one x term equals a constant. Then to get rid of the coefficient, we divide. So we divide both sides by 10. So look what happens on the right. The 10's cancel. I'll move over here to the side. Gets me my x all by itself. And then the left, I just have negative 9/10. And that's your answer. All right, next one, I've got some parentheses involved. So to solve an equation that has parentheses, well, usually, first thing you have to do is get rid of the parentheses. So that uses the distributive law. So I'll go ahead and distribute the 6 through the 2x and the minus 4. Doesn't get all the way to the 3 because that's outside of the parentheses. The 6 just multiplies everything inside the parentheses. So 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times minus 4 is negative 24. Plus the 3, haven't dealt with that yet. And that all equals 5x minus 9. So now we do what we just did up in example 1. We're going to tidy up each side first. So 12x, no other x terms, so I can't simplify that. But minus 24 plus 3, that's minus 21. So I could simplify that. The right side is already down to an x term and a constant, so nothing to be done there. Okay, so now we're going to get all of our x terms together on one side. So I will subtract 5x from both sides. Again, keeping to my preference in my x coefficient being positive. If you have a different sort of preference, that's fine. We'll meet up together at the end. So 12x minus 5x, that's our 7x. The minus 21 I haven't dealt with yet. So since my x term's on the left this time, that means this negative 21 has to move. So to get rid of negative 21, I'm going to add 21. These guys will cancel. There'll be a 0, right? And then I do the same thing to the right to stay balanced. So again, popping up over here. So I have 7x for the left. And on the right, I have negative 9 plus 21. So that looks like 12. And then to finish, we would divide both sides by that x coefficient, which is 7, right? And the reason we're dividing is that the 7 and x are attached with multiplication. So 12/7. Okay, here's our last example. So this one is just slightly different in that I still have parentheses, but it's not a number in front that we really see. We just see that minus sign. So I don't know if you've seen this strategy or not, but some people will like stick a little 1 in there. So now it's really like a negative 1 that distributes through the parentheses. Okay? we're subtracting everything in the parentheses. So what that does is essentially change the sign of everything on the inside. Here we go. 8, not dealing with that one yet, but now I have negative 1 times x. That's negative x. And then I have negative 1 times 7. That's minus 7. Right side, nothing to be done yet. Just copy it down, tidy up the left-hand side. Just doing the operations they told us because we're not moving things from one side to the other yet. We're just tidying. So I have 8 minus 7, so that'll be a 1. Minus x we haven't dealt with yet. Okay, we're going to get all of our x terms together then. It looks like mine are going to go to the right, so I stay with a positive coefficient. So this was in minus x, so if I add x on the left, those guys will cancel, right? They'll add to 0, and I'll just get the 1 left. But then I have to add to the right to stay balanced. So now I have 1 equals x plus 14x is 15x plus the 3. So now the plus 3 has to go. I want to isolate that x term, right? So I have 15x equals 1 minus 3, that's minus 2. So that my last step is always that divide by the coefficient. Or maybe you think of it as multiply by the reciprocal of the coefficient. Okay, so x in this case is negative 2/15.